I wore good old big wellies. I'm clean my hands. I'm pretty clean. Pretty good.
Hello and welcome back to Football Talk, the podcast with myself, Dave, and a not so muddy Josh Cool. Hello, Josh.
Hello. Yes, I've just been picking pumpkins. You know, the usual thing everybody does. I imagine most of our listeners have probably just done the same as me this morning, picking pumpkins.
I've never picked a pumpkin in my life.
Have you not? How'd you get yours?
Well, I just don't buy them. I buy them in Sainsbury's, I guess, when I was in the UK.
Is Halloween big in Singapore? I mean, what's?
There's some trick or treaters that come round that we ignore.
Yeah, you do the textbook lights out, hide.
Just don't let them in. So you got to be buzzed into the condo and then do that. So yeah, just nah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that big. I think it's big in like the expats. I don't think Singaporeans are big for Halloween. So
Okay.
yeah.
No, I'm not a big Halloweener personally, but basically there's a big field near us that grows a lot of pumpkins. You go around, pick them, put them in a wheelbarrow, pay for them. I mean, I paid like 20 quid for some pumpkins, which in hindsight is a lot of money on pumpkins.
Are they bang average pumpkins as well?
No, mate. You got different varieties. If I knew about them, I'd tell you the different kind of species of pumpkins we've got here. But yeah, there's different varieties. There's white ones, there's grey ones, there's green ones, there's your textbook orange ones. But yeah, that's what my morning was. And now I'm muddy, but
incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Listeners, if you go out picking pumpkins, please let us know in the comments. And how big was the pumpkin that you picked? It's a bit of a tongue twister, that.
Yeah.
Right, into a bit of news. We were just saying before we start the podcast, there isn't actually too much really to talk about in the news other than stuff that's happened in the games we're going to review anyway. So I'll just go with, Wayne Rooney ended his MLS career before he moves to Derby. Got smashed 5-1 in his last ever game in the MLS, so probably not the sign-off he wanted. But do you think, how do you feel about Rooney in the MLS and stuff? And do you think he's past it and he's going to struggle at Derby in the Championship? Is he not going to play that much? What do you think?
I can't see him playing too much personally. I think he'll have a few choice games. I've got a feeling he'll be able to really handpick where he wants to get involved. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a red card. I can imagine he'd be quite frustrated if he's not up to it. And so I think you'll see textbook kind of Wayne Rooney highlight reel. You see some cracking goals. You'll see a sending off. Maybe see a little bit of a obviously see a lot of swearing at the referee and. One maybe textbook tracking back down the left back position. And that'll be him done for the season because I imagine he hasn't got much stamina anymore.
I think he's going to play quite a lot. I think between the 1st of January when he signs till the end of the season, I think he'll be playing quite a lot for Derby County. And then I think next season he won't play as much. Yeah, I think they're going to put him straight in.
I mean, I did see a picture of Philip Cocu yesterday and he looked pretty down in the dumps. I mean, Derby are, I think, just got down to below mid-table, kind of 15th there. Yeah, 15th there. Yeah, so yeah, can Wayne Rooney fire them into the playoffs?
That'd be a story, wouldn't it?
Wayne Rooney back in the Premier League next year. Philip Cocu, Wayne Rooney, double fister, double header, double. Oh,
whoa! What's on your brain? Bloody hell!
Pumpkins, yeah.
Oh, okay. Anything in the news caught your eye?
Yes, yeah. This one is a bit. It happened a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't mention it, and it was Newcastle beating Manchester United.
Fuck off! Yeah. Cheers, Kyle. Kyle, thanks for bringing that up in the comment section. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, partly because of how well it's going for Spurs at the moment, I didn't think like I could even delve into anything in the Premier League. But yeah, we completely forgot to mention Newcastle's 1-0 win against United a couple of weeks back, and just wondered if that was still living long in the memory. You're probably going to save that memory before the Super Sunday match today, I imagine, just in case it gets even worse.
It's going to get worse, yeah. We'll get onto that later, but it's going to get worse. And it was just embarrassing. Just dreadful. I thought I'd got away with not that injured. And as soon as I saw that comment, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. This is coming up next week. And it was dreadful. It was absolutely dreadful. I mean, and obviously it was Longstaff that scored the guy. Well, it was Matty Longstaff, wasn't it? His brother.
I know, it's double Longstaff.
The shitter Longstaff, who no one knew existed.
No.
Oh yeah, it was just so bad. It was just we're so devoid of creativity and.
Oh, it sounds a bit like Spurs. But what I
Yeah.
would say is that in the post-match interview, it was just refreshing. It's before players get their media training, obviously, because Matty Longstaff probably hadn't had his yet. He was making his debut. It's that kind of really raw, just natural kind of post-match interview. His brother was a bit more well-versed and did all the cliches, but he was just like, yeah, I was just excited. It was just brilliant. Yeah, and it was so natural. It was really nice to see.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't nice to see. I'd rather him being interviewed saying, "Oh, I hate my debut to be a 4-0 loss." But
Yeah.
alas, Man United are shit, and we're in 14th. Do you know what? That puts us 1 point above Newcastle, with them beating us. How embarrassing is that?
Yeah. I don't want to comment, Dave, but it's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely dreadful. Do you know if results go against us, then oh no, we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. I was going to say we're dropping the relegation.
Results
zone.
go against you, you can go into 15th.
Yeah, we drop a place. Yeah, in fact, we probably will drop a place because the chances are that Liverpool are going to score more than one goal past us, and our goal difference to them being the minus numbers, which would put us into 15th. If they really smash us, we could go to 16th.
Yeah, I mean,
God.
God, this is just getting pretty bleaker by the second, actually, Dave, isn't it?
This is depressing. If anything, this
Oh,
is rubbish.
gosh,
Kyle,
yeah,
look what
oh,
you've done. You bastard.
yeah. Breaking news: Dave and I are going to stop doing this podcast because football's shit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we can't cope anymore.
I'm gonna branch away from that and talk about the. Did you see the Mexican I don't know what to call it. The Mexican standstill, where
No, go ahead, Dave. Is it?
So you know Tigres, the Mexican side Tigres, who are pretty
Do you
good.
know Tigres?
Yeah. They were playing another team in Mexico called Veracruz, and Veracruz's players haven't been paid for 2 months. So what they did is they went on the pitch and let Tigres score 2 goals. They stood still. All 11 players
Oh,
just
the
stood still.
issue of pay us,
Yeah.
otherwise we will just do absolutely naff all.
Yeah, exactly. So they kicked off. Tigres kicked off, and they passed it around a bit, and then shot from distance, and the goalkeeper didn't move. And then Veracruz just they kicked off, gave the ball back to Tigres, and they went and scored a second goal, and then they played properly. So yeah, and they
Wow.
lost 3-1.
It's almost like,
So it would have been 1-1.
It was like, yeah, it's kind of like we'll give you a head start. It's like, are you sure they weren't just really arrogant, going, "Yeah, we're so good, just have a head start,
Yeah.
see what you can do."
But yeah, so that was an interesting bit of news that caught my eye because I saw the clip of it on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, it's not every day you see something like that happening in football.
Not at all.
Other than that, Josh, I don't have that much more news really. But
Should we move into the quiz?
No, before we get into the quiz, Josh,
Oh.
we're I would like, and now I can't do this at my end because I have to then go through a VPN to access Sky Sports, and if I did that, it will cancel our Skype call. So I'm going to ask you to give us an update on the Super Six.
Oh, the Super Six. Do you really want this update? It might be as bleak as the Man United update you
I
just gave.
think I've done better this week. I think I've had a decent week.
Okay.
In
Okay,
in
we'll talk
respect
about
to all
this
my
week.
other weeks.
Yeah.
So I think I've had a decent
Yes,
week, which
isn't
could
it-
be anything in the positive.
No, you have had a decent week, Dave. You are second. So
Yeah, boy!
in this round, you scored 11 points. Derek Murphy tops out with 16 points. I actually had a shocking week, finishing bottom. We're just getting one result right, so only 2 points. That is.
Can you
Oh, God,
remember
that-
when we mentioned about Super 6 the other day, and I went, what I do is I always go against the ones I put in my prediction league, because I said I was in 2 prediction leagues, and I never do the same thing. This week I did the same predictions twice, and I have done very, very well in both competitions. So,
Well, yeah, that means you've just got to focus on one thing. You know, there is a right answer. You got
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Oh, that means I move off top spot now for the season. I'm now 2 points adrift from Tom Hennigan in top place. He's got 115 points. I'm on 113. But don't worry, Dave. You're still there. Strongest member of the league, propping it up.
yes.
62 points.
How far
Almost
am I off
half as many.
the person in front ahead of me? Penultimate person.
4 points off Owen East.
Oh, yes, Owen, I'm coming for you, lad. I'm coming for you. You're going to be mine.
Wow.
So, yes.
You guys know your football.
So, there's the update of the Super 6. That's the little jingle.
I
I'm
would
giving
say,
Super
Dave,
6.
there is another round. You probably want to have a look because it's midweek round on Tuesday night.
Oh, thank you. I did put out a reminder to everybody on the Football Talk Twitter.
You did, yeah.
say
It
Super
reminded me
6.
actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hashtag reminder, because a lot of people seem to forget.
In your golden goal prediction, do you normally choose the same number each time?
No, I don't. I always go around somewhere between 10 and 15.
And it's always super early, isn't it? It's always like, the 5th minute, the 4th minute, the 6th.
Yeah.
So I always choose number 17 being favourite number and all that. But now I've gone lower. I'm not quite sure what difference it makes.
No, I don't know what it does.
It's kind of right actually.
Do you
I'm
challenge
surprised
Jeff
how well I'm
as
doing.
well? Do you challenge Jeff?
Oh yeah, I always challenge Jeff.
Yeah,
The prick.
It's like a free bit of money in it if you beat Jeff. So yeah. Right. Well, there's the update for Super 6. We haven't done one in a while, an update, so I thought we should do it. But yeah, let's move on to the quiz.
Good point, Dave. All right, let's sing it. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time. Right. This quiz came to me via Twitter yesterday. I was like, what am I going to do for a quiz? And this little stat popped up. I thought, I will utilise this. So it came out around 7:30 yesterday because Gabriel Jesus became the 7th player to score 50 goals or more for Pep Guardiola. I want you to name the other 6 players who have scored more than 50 goals for Pep in his managerial career.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Messi.
Yes, top of the list, 211 goals.
Has Aguero scored 54, Pep?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna
just think it through, Dave. I mean, if Jesus has scored 50.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
103 for Aguero.
Wow. Lewandowski
with 67.
Oh, okay.
Halfway there already, Dave.
Thomas Muller.
Oh my goodness, Thomas Muller with 79.
And there's got to be another Barcelona player, Xavi. No, he didn't really score that many.
No.
Pedro.
Oh, he got the one I didn't think he was going to get. He's going to get them all before the break there. One last one, Dave. Who's it going to be?
I'm really struggling now. Is it an obvious one as well?
I'm not going to say a word now. I don't want you to beat it before the reviews. We'll leave it there, Dave. We'll leave you thinking. Otherwise, there's no going to be no return to the quiz because you've smashed it out of the park. We'll leave that there.
Bollocks! I thought I was going to get that on the first time. Pedro is the one you didn't think I'd get. Interesting.
Pedro's a bit of a weird one. I think he's a bit underrated as a player. I mean, very two-footed, and he was really quite effective for Barcelona. But I feel like he's never really hit the heights of Chelsea. He's scored a fair few important goals and good goals, but never been fully relied on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't think he's ever been. Well, he's always been at Barcelona. He was alongside Messi, so everyone was like Messi was amazing. And then at Chelsea, for most of his career at Chelsea, he's against Eden Hazard, and everyone was like, well, Hazard's the main man. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't rate Pedro, but then I also think he's underrated, if that makes sense. So, it's... Yeah.
So you rate him a little bit higher than what he is, but not to his full level.
Yeah, that's a good way to sum it up, I'd say. Yeah. So, all right then. Yeah, so we'll come back to that. So let's get on to the review. You can start us off, Josh. Where do you want to start?
We'll start with the Nicholas Alexanderson derby.
Oh my God! Okay.
Do you remember Nicholas Alexanderson?
Wasn't he the really good penalty taker?
Oh, was he?
Nicholas Alexanderson. I swear he's a penalty taker.
You're not thinking of Graham Alexander for Burnley, are you?
Graham Alexander. Yeah, I'm thinking of Graham.
No,
Alexander.
This is the Swedish attacking midfielder who played for Everton and West Ham.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was the early kickoff on a Saturday, and I mean beforehand, this probably spoiled a lot of accumulators because I bet people didn't. If they chose this one, they were idiots because who knows which way this one's going to go because both teams can blow very hot and cold, and it ended up 2-0 Everton with a couple of very good goals, wasn't it?
I very much loved Bernard's goal, his fancy footwork, and then his little toe poke at the near post. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, I would say 100% of fans, when he checked back, first of all, probably thought, "Oh, what are you doing? Wasted opportunity." I bet you no one thought, "Great decision." I'd have done exactly the same thing. They were thinking, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
But
I can't argue with that. I agree.
he's a tricky little player, but he's I suppose it's like a poor man's Pedro in a sense, but he scores lovely goals and it looks composed, but I just don't think you could ever rely on him. I think he's too inconsistent, and I think probably the keeper probably has a little bit of blame here for the goal. But
I don't think the keeper was expecting him to shoot from that angle.
But I mean, it's such a heavy touch to run out, and the keeper probably could have just really gone and. I mean, it's dangerous because if he'd gone and tried to cover everything, he might have then wiped Bernard out and created a penalty situation. But it was the finest of margins, wasn't it? It went in, but you just feel like he could have done a little bit more. But and Everton really kind of just dominated this match overall, and it was Sigurdsson with a very Sigurdsson goal, wasn't it, for a second?
Yeah, like where he faked it on his left foot and said farewell to the midfielder that tried to block the fake shot.
Jack Wilshere, that was.
Was it Jack Wilshere just went sliding across the camera? Oh no! And then hit it like a free kick into the top corner. It was a lovely goal.
Yeah. Sigurdsson is everything that Sig does is slow but very controlled, isn't it? It never looks rushed, but that's why I think he wasn't quite right for Tottenham. I don't think he's just under heavy press or tight conditions. I'm not sure he's got it. He needs that little bit extra, that millisecond extra, to be composed. And he's a class player. Got a lot of technique about him. But lovely finish.
Yeah. And what do you feel about West Ham? I mean, I've seen a lot on Twitter of West Ham fans moaning about Pellegrini, and he's a little bit clueless and clearly doesn't work on defending, is something I read on Twitter today about Pellegrini. But
I've seen a lot of fans kind of complaining around how they just didn't try. They just didn't get out of first gear. They literally just kind of just took the beating and went off. And it's just one of those ones. I think fans are very reactive, and Pellegrini's done a lot of good things for West Ham. I think it's just out of fickle fan behaviour. He's really pushed them onto another level. Maybe not the level they want to be at yet, but I think given time a bit more, maybe I don't think he's quite old. So I don't think he's probably got 3-4 years left at West Ham, but maybe another season. But by the end of the season, I think they'll be in a very good position.
I'd say he's a manager that would probably set a good foundation at the club. So when he moves on, I think he'll be a good job. But interesting that he came out after the game and was said at half time he made one sub, which was Felipe Anderson came on with replaced Felipe Anderson with Yarmolenko, and he said in his post-match interview that if he could, he would have liked to have changed all 11.
Yeesh. They didn't live way up to it. But I'm a little bit of a shout out to Yerry Mina, who I've kind of criticised quite a bit on this podcast. He seems to be settling in a bit more in the Premier League. Had a very good game. Obviously, been very physically imposing, but he seems to be cutting out those kind of rash decisions. So I thought he had a very good game. Probably one of the nominee for man of the match in this match. But sorry, Yerry Mina, you may be turning into a half decent player after all.
Talk about reactionism from fans. He's had one good game and Josh has apologised.
No, he has been improved. I haven't had to criticise him much recently, but he's getting better.
Yeah, fair enough.
Strong words.
Let's see him score 2 own goals and get sent off in the next game.
Yeah.
All right then. I mean, not too much more to say about. Like you say, that could have gone either way, hot or cold. So, I think a very good result for Everton. To be fair, it releases the pressure off Marco Silva as well. Yeah,
I mean that was kind of 4 losses on the bounce, was it? It was really very, very much needed.
Yeah.
To.
But it's just mental, isn't it? Everton in 13th, I think, are 4 points off Palace in 6th. Is that right? I might have got that slightly wrong.
Palace are in Palace 14, Everton. Yeah, that's right.
Is it? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Still early days, isn't it? There's plenty of games to play. We're kind of Brighton away next for Everton. That could again. How hot and cold that is. I mean, then the following week is Everton Spurs. I mean, Christ, I don't know. I just don't know anymore, Dave. But we'll move on. We'll move on to the Lee Hendry derby, shall we?
Aston Villa, Brighton.
Yes, Lee Hendry.
I've met Lee Hendry.
Have you?
Yeah, I met him in a pub when I used to live in Birmingham. Yeah.
Did you have any anecdote you want to tell about him, or you just
he was
met him?
Very orange.
He had a little bit of fake tan
on. Yeah, he had a lot of fake tan.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He was. Was he? Is he kind of a? Is Jack Grealish? Would you compare the two?
No, Jack Grealish is much better.
Oh, he is much better, but
yeah,
actually, we'll move straight on to that because Jack Grealish had a cracking game yesterday, and that England call-up really can't be far off because that guy he's a lovely footballer, isn't he?
I agree. I think he's very, very good. Whether he'll fit the England system, I don't know. Where would you play him in the England system?
Yeah, that's the problem. I think you have
I wouldn't
problem
play
that
Dele
Madison
Alli,
has.
and I'd play him ahead of Dele Alli off Kane. But
Well, Dele Alli's not even getting the side. Dele Alli wasn't called up recently, was he? And
true.
I mean, Sterling and Sancho have kind of solidified their place in the kind of a 4-3-3.
Raheem Sterling, who scored 50 goals under Pep.
Oh, he's done it.
Fucking get in there,
Bloody
son.
done it.
Cheers, Josh. Thanks for giving me that away.
No problem.
The one I had written down was Arjen Robben.
A little bit of news as well was Sancho returned late from international duty and he was suspended by Dortmund.
Yeah, it's a 1-game suspension, wasn't it? They gave him, I think, 1 week's wages, 1-game suspension. So.
And I remember when he was at City, he kept returning to London. He's a London boy, and you just wonder how long his Dortmund career will last. Does he have that kind of that want to be in London, come to Tottenham?
Yeah, right.
And where would he go if he wanted to go to
Man United? Just travel up the M1 with all the fans to go to the game.
Man, the day you see Jadon Sancho at Man United, something has gone horrifically wrong for Sancho, horrifically right for United, and they've got back on track. You see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's little dig at Liverpool the other day. He said, it won't take us another 30 years to win a title.
Oh, Ole.
Brave words.
Yeah.
But back to Villa Brighton.
Yeah, Villa Brighton. It was a good game, actually. It was
and
decent game.
Aaron Moore, who had a cracking game against Spurs the other week, was just a bit moronic with this one and probably cost his team the points here because they were up against it for about 2/3 of the match.
Yeah, such stupid yellow cards to pick up, wasn't it? One of them delaying the game, and then I don't know how he ever thought he was getting the ball with the slide tackle where he got his second yellow.
Did he realise that he was going to be hitting the player? Did he think he was just sliding into the ball and the player wasn't going to be there? But yeah, he just wiped him out from behind.
Yeah, he just.
There's no malice in it. It was just like, you're on the floor sliding in from behind. No one's ever going to get hurt, but it's just super stupid. And yeah, I mean, as a Brighton fan, you've got to think of Gore because Grealish scores on the 45th +2. And Matt Target scores on the 90th minute +4. It's like, oh man, that's got to be hard to take.
Yeah, there is. And, credit to Brighton. They did quite a fair bit of attacking when they went down to 10 men. Like, they weren't...
Yeah, they had their chances. Yeah.
They didn't just park the bus and sort of give up and say, well, we'll take the draw. But, maybe that's the problem they had. But a shout out to Matt Target. Not only did he score me a lot of fantasy football points, because I've got him as a defender and he scored. But
why have you got him?
Why? Because when Villa play these sort of games, he's a very attacking fullback. So, why haven't you got him? He scored me bonus points for scoring as a defender.
This week I'm not sure what else he's done.
Oh, I very rarely play him. This is in not in the Premier League fantasy one. This is in my friends one that we play where you can, you don't have to have the same. You've got a squad of 25 people and you can pick, and then you pick a starting 11 for the game. Anyway, but I liked him at Southampton, when he made a few cameo appearances and stuff and came on. I thought he's a bit of a player.
Fair, he was very good at Fulham when they got promoted, but because that season Fulham got promoted, they had a very big loan army, and they didn't manage to sign him permanent or sign him on loan, and so they kind of missed that. And I mean, defensively, they never really kind of covered for it. I mean, Sessegnon was playing further up in that championship year, had to cover at left back as well. So yeah, I know he is a good player. I mean, he's never going to be England quality. He reminds me of my kind of Stephen Warnock level.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But again, looking at the league table, I mean, Brighton have been playing well and they've been playing a bit more expansive, but they are deep down in there, same points as Man United, so they're struggling. And West Ham, what am I about? Aston Villa up to 11th, I think, is it? 10th now, maybe? Yeah,
11 and 11, and they're kind of on track. That kind of points tally is on track to keep them up. I mean, that's all they've got to be focused on is just keep their head above water and make sure they stay up because it's going all right for them. They're probably, I mean, Norwich kind of took the headlines earlier with Pukki scoring and beating Man City, but they obviously find themselves in deep trouble. Sheffield United have kind of quietly been going about it. Obviously, if Sheffield United managed to beat, I think they play Arsenal on Monday night, they would go above Villa, but I think Villa overall have probably been the more consistent and kind of level-headed promoted side so far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The thing with Sheffield United, our fan, obviously, we'll do a bit of a preview against their game against Arsenal towards the end of the show. But I think Sheffield United is a bit like, you know, when Blackpool got promoted and they started really well, and obviously Sheffield United haven't quite started as well. But I think after Christmas, a lot of people are going to figure Sheffield United out, and they're going to struggle.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to tumble down into that relegation zone. Whereas someone like Watford or Norwich, I could see doing the opposite, and like something will click and they'll get out of it. Newcastle, I just think, are fucked. So
yeah, Newcastle is not looking great for. But we'll move on to the Efe Nkoku derby, Bournemouth Norwich, 0-0. And well, I've got a couple of stats. So it's Norwich's first away point of the season. So well done them, and both sides' first clean sheets of the season. So something to smile about. Other than, I mean, it's not often you get. I mean, Bournemouth are one of those sides. Normally, kind of, I wouldn't put them down as a nil-niller normally, and for Norwich either. So I think it's pretty a bit of a surprise on the old betting slips with this one.
Yeah, Bournemouth. They're quite an open team, aren't they? They're happy to throw people forward to try and get the goal, which generally leaves them open at the back. So yeah, like you say, an interesting one on the betting slips. I think this would have ruined quite a lot of nil-nil bets. No, it would have won a lot of money. It would have ruined a lot of betting slips. So
yeah, and Pukki obviously scored for Finland during the international break, but not yet banging them back in the Premier League. And maybe you're safe for that bet of not scoring. Was it double figures?
I said double figures at Jim. Yeah, I said double figures. So I don't know. He'll score a few more, won't he? What's he on now? 8? No, 7. I think he's on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm worried that I'm going to buy Jim a beer. And
he's only on 6 Premier League goals so far.
Oh,
so
okay.
You never know in the
the
remaining 29 games he might not score more than 3. That would be pretty. I mean, that would mean Norwich are relegated. So
yeah,
depends what you want to wish for.
Is it the only thing I can pick for this game is that the fact that Norwich looked a lot better defensively, and it seems to have come at a cost of going forward.
Well, it is. It's what it always is. It's that balance, isn't it? It is just a sliding scale. Every team can score goals if they, well, almost every team can score goals they want to, but then you just kind of creak open at the back, don't they? So they need to find that balance a bit. But
yeah.
It's I think it'll be a relief to see those goals stop going in because it's been a bit porous recently.
Yeah, very true. Come on then. I'm trying to think of a Chelsea Newcastle player to beat you to the punch, but I can't think of one. I assume that's where you're going next.
I'll throw you a stat here and see if you can get it. I think he is the record goal scorer in the Premier League for players who've not scored a headed goal.
What?
So he scored the most amount of goals in the Premier League without any of them being a header. And he's played for Chelsea and Newcastle.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
As he also played for Blackburn, tricky left winger.
Damien Duff.
Damien Duff, yeah.
Yeah, the Damien Duff derby. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good player, wasn't he, Damien Duff?
He was very, very good, and then he moved to Chelsea, and he sort of got I'm not saying found out as a player because he was good at Chelsea, but the level up was, I think, it made him look a bit more average. Because that's when they started spending the money, wasn't it? When they bought Damien Duff.
Yeah, was it him and like Sean Wright-Phillips were already there? I think probably Arjen Robben was there.
Yeah. Arjen Robben was
very much a poor man's Arjen Robben, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he definitely was. Very good at Blackburn. Very, very good at Blackburn. Damien Duff. Anyway, onto the game. So I think what I like about this is that when opposition fans boo someone and then that player scores. So obviously Newcastle fans booing Alonso because he used to play for Sunderland, and then he went and scored with like 15 minutes to go, which was quite nice. I like it when things like that happen, especially when it's a defender, because it just really rubs salt in the wound. Yeah,
because it's always more unexpected. But I mean, Alonso is such an attacking threat, and he's so good. I mean, he's got a lovely left foot. He's scored some free kicks and some lovely shots, but it's just a shame he's such a threat to Chelsea's defence as well, because he is.
How is he not a winger? How is he just not a winger?
He's can't too slow.
Defend. Yeah,
he's
true.
Too slow.
Yeah,
he's just one of those players who, unfortunately, he's not defensively good enough, but he's not quick enough to He's just gets found out. It's unfortunate. He's got it's like when I imagine David Luiz and Alonso lined up in the same side together. It's like your skill sets aren't right for the position you want to play.
Yeah. But
But they've made top flight footballers themselves, so they can't be doing it all wrong.
Exactly.
Shout out to Hudson-Odoi. That kid is good. 4 assists in 4 games, and he's still only 18. It's quite impressive to see.
It is, and it's working out pretty well for Chelsea, isn't it? This transfer embargo. It's actually proved to them that the youth players they've got can step up and do it. I mean, Tammy Abraham didn't score, but he had a very good. It was unlucky not to score. Really, he had a very good game.
Scored,
hit the bar. Really good block, I think, by the guy that used to play for Spurs with the really crap hair, Yedlin.
DeAndre Yedlin. Yeah.
And I don't think Newcastle had a shot. I don't think they even tested Kepa.
No shots on target.
Which is what makes it even worse that we lost to them
1-0. Yeah, Dave, you and me both, mate.
Well, yeah. So.
For the Brexiteers amongst you, Chelsea named 5 English players in their first 11 for the first time in 6 years. So
nice.
You probably love that.
Yeah. Oh well. Are you saying I would love it personally? Because I wanted to stay in Brexit. I wanted to stay in Brexit. I wanted to stay in the EU. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about that? Obviously,
no politics. No politics. No politics. We're not getting drawn into that.
But Chelsea, I think. I mean. I said at the start of the season, if Chelsea fans lower their expectations, they can have a really good season because they're going to blood a lot of youngsters. It'll be quite fun to watch. They've got a lot of talent in there. It seems at the moment they didn't have to lower expectations. They're just having a good season of it. And I'm quite enjoying it at the moment.
I mean, if you turn around to Chelsea fans before the season, like that transfer ban comes in and you turn around to Chelsea fans instead, after 9, coming up to 10 games in the Premier League at the start of the season, you're 2 points behind Man City, I think they would have bitten your hand off. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible, but well done. I mean, and it goes. Hopefully, it'll be a bit of a signal to other teams to say, you can give these youth players a go if they've got the right team to fit into, and it'll look pretty good. Newcastle down and out. You think they're done under Steve Bruce?
Steve Bruce masterclass, isn't it? It's got to be pretty bleak, and they've spent big, but I'm not sure any of the players. So if I call it a front 3. Say Maximum, Joe Linton, and Almiron. I'm really not sure.
Yeah,
any of them are a complete package, and I don't know. I
think if you put St. Maximin in a better team, he would get you assists, and he would be a danger. If you put him in like a Wolves or something like that, he's exciting and he runs at people. He has got a bit of the Adama Traore about him, where his crosses are generally terrible, but I do think if you put him in a better team or a striker that he could service better from the wing, I think he'd be all right. Almiron, you can't be at a club in an attacking midfielder for a year and a bit now. He's been at Newcastle.
He joined in the January transfer window, so it'll be a year, won't it?
A year, yeah, and not have a goal or assist. I mean, it's like Jesse Lingard, and that's why everyone's now getting pissed off with Jesse Lingard. So, and Joe Linton, I just think he's. The problem with Joe Linton is he's come with a massive price tag, but probably wasn't deserved, and that's gonna weigh over him. If you'd signed Joe Linton as a backup striker, you'd probably be quite happy because he's absolutely a bit of a nuisance. But
it's the same with Lingard as well. I think I heard Gary Neville say Lingard could have been in the Man United squads of yesteryear because he had passengers in your squad who wouldn't. But unfortunately, Jesse Lingard is now at the forefront of it. He's a starter for Man United. Or he's on the cusp of it.
Yeah, he was.
If he was like the kind of the 23rd, 22nd man in the squad, he could have been in those kind of Premier League winning squads and come in and done a job with other great players around him. He hasn't got great players around him, and he's having to be that kind of the leader or the talisman or the creative force. He's not going to be that. So that's where it falls. And it's similar to the Newcastle players. None of them are bad players, but they aren't that level where they're going to be great for Newcastle. If they had someone great around them and they were complimenting them, it would work a lot better. But alone, they're not there.
Yeah, I agree. So, and I don't think we should talk about Newcastle for too much longer because they beat us 1-0 and it's depressing.
Yeah, so. Let's move on to the Adi Akinbaye derby, shall we?
Oh, Adi Akinbaye. I remember he was amazing in an early Champ Manager, I think, or an early Football Manager. Absolutely incredible stats.
Yeah, he was at Leicester when it was Filbert Street, wasn't he? And I remember him
Yeah.
ripping his shirt off one time because he scored a goal or something like that. But yes, this is Leicester versus Burnley, and actually a kind of a layer over the top of this. We could probably have mentioned a dodgy VAR decision in most of the games in this week.
Yeah.
Because VAR was in full dodgy mode. I mean, just full mode really, and none less in this Leicester Burnley match. So Dwight McNeil again providing, and Wood doing what he does, just kind of getting in there. Big Taron header, boom, 1-0. I mean, funny chant from Burnley fans saying, "Jamie Vardy, your wife's a grass." Lovely. And how dare they? She's heavily pregnant.
How dare they?
Yeah. But again, similar to your Alonso, obviously they rile him up, he scores. It's probably a bit more dangerous with Vardy, seeing though that is very much in his locker. So he had the last laugh there. But then, I mean, probably my favourite shot. I mean, not necessarily my favourite goal. I haven't decided my favourite goal, but definitely Tielemans' strike, where it's just off the underside of the bar, roofed it. That's a lovely strike from Tielemans to put Leicester 2-1 up. But honestly, this decision to disallow the second goal for Burnley is quite frankly ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Wood is, I think he's actually kind of probably turning away, celebrating. Evans does a little fall into the net and complains, right? Evans is never clearing that, even if he runs full pedal for it. He's never getting that. And to rule that out is just quite frankly ridiculous.
There was one, I mean, the one that we missed of in the Villa game was the Hurahan one as well, where that was cancelled for VAR, where what's the Villa striker? Wesley jumped up with the goalkeeper.
The Wesley,
no foul. That's never a foul.
Yeah.
Never a foul, and it cancels out the strike. And this was similar. I mean, you're right. Johnny Evans, he's never getting that. He's never getting that, and it should be a goal, but.
Johnny Evans will get a foot to it, but he'll score. He'll just put it into his own net. He won't be able to. I'll be amazed if he got that out of it. And
he's not stopping the goal.
Yeah, wound me right up. That did.
So, but VAR winds you up all sorts.
Leicester had a bit of a rub of agreeing with VAR. Leicester have had a fair share of luck with VAR, much like Spurs have, but at least Leicester's have turned theirs into victories. But Spurs are just scraping draws or losing. Lossing.
Talking of Spurs then. Yeah. So
the Callum Davenport derby.
The Callum Davenport. He was also. He's quite old, isn't he, Callum Davenport? Because I think on Champ Manager 0102 he was absolutely brilliant as a centre back, a young centre back. Callum Davenport.
Did he get stabbed? Got stabbed?
Did he? Callum Davenport.
Yeah, I've got a feeling there's an altercation with. I think there's an altercation with a kind of ex-girlfriend and a current boyfriend. And he got stabbed, and I'm reasonably sure of this. Stabbing.
Stabbing.
Yeah. Oh my God! Lost 50% of the blood from his body. Wow.
Bloody hell.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not really what we're talking about. But Callum Davenport. He was kind of a young English. I mean, he's only 36 actually. This Callum Davenport could have been playing still, but didn't really make it in his career. I had a few under 21 appearances, but he played for Watford and Spurs, and it was Spurs versus Watford yesterday, and Christ Almighty. So I didn't go out my way to watch this match. I use Flash Score on my phone to update me of results and scores, and so obviously one notification, match starts, and then I saw there was two notifications. Like, oh, good, Spurs have really. Come back after the international break and really going to, take Watford apart. It's going to be great. And then I'm like, oh no, it's Doucouré scored. It's like, oh, are you kidding me? I don't know how we're going to get a goal, let alone get 2 goals. Yeah, 6 minutes. And that's with Watford already subbing off their Danny Welbeck off the first minute for going off injury. It's like, oh, God. And to be fair, it was a lovely move. Daryl Yamat, I mean, that's a lovely touch, a lovely cross. And, bam, 1-0. And that, looking at the highlights, the first half is just abject. And again, this is a VAR situation. So with a couple, so we have. I don't know how Vertonghen isn't a judge to give away a penalty.
I was going to say, how is that not a penalty? How is that not a penalty?
It does seem also Danny Rose potentially had a penalty. I think if he doesn't stop and because he gets taken out in the opposition box, knocks it past him and gets taken out. I think if he kind of just stops and makes people think that he is waiting for contact. But if he keeps running, maybe he gets something. But then the goal is, I think, Dele Alli's goal, I think, is fair. It's the angles that we see from the VAR here aren't conclusive, but I'm sure they always say, Sky has 20 cameras at the match. Like, is there not a better angle which shows it hits Dele Alli's shoulder rather than his arm? It pops up so high. But I think it's got to hit more kind of pointed bone than his bicep for me.
I think it's funny because like the commentary that I watched on the highlights here in Singapore was, as soon in real time, the commentator was like, "Oh, and that's a handball by Dele Alli," even before he'd put it in the net. He was like, "That's a handball." Like, he immediately called it, and then as you saw the replays, it was sort of like, "Oh, I don't know. It's come over. Is it like his collarbone or his shoulder or the top of his arm?" And it was so, like you say, there was no view you could see to call it if that was arm or shoulder or whatever. Like, there was no clear view, and it was so bad. And then it led into the whole thing of the referee giving the goal with the big screen saying no goal.
Oh yeah. That does not help at all when people go, "Oh, it's conspiracy theory." It's like, that really doesn't help. Just someone clicked the wrong button.
Yeah. Some idiot has got fired because of that. So
But it's never great to get 1 point against the worst team in the league. But I mean, I'm sure Watford will get over it.
Yeah. Well played, sir. Well played. Yeah, not very good.
Honestly, we're just so. I mean, I tweeted yesterday and I said I think Poch will get sacked if we lose this. And I think it's just we're so devoid of confidence, and we were last year. I mean, when we were watching Spurs v Ajax, I knew that Spurs had equal or better players than Ajax, but Ajax were so confident, so rip-roaring and tearing us apart, and we were devoid of confidence. And that's just never, ever... I mean, losing a Champions League final is going to do a lot for that confidence, is it? And we're just on the lowest ebb, and it's going to be a long, hard slog to get out of it. And I think a quick way of doing that, you could change the manager, but then you obviously free up Pochettino to go elsewhere, and he is a very good manager. It's just how long can we stomach this poor run because of our lack of confidence, and need to often new players need to come in. Lo Celso and Sessegnon need to add that kind of, they're not so devoid of confidence. It's going to be a long, hard slog to get us back from this, and just hopefully Levy can keep the faith, and we kind of just keep ticking over with a few fortunate results. But it's going to be a bit of a slog.
So you want Levy to keep the faith? You don't want him to pull the trigger? You think Poch can turn it around?
Well, I'd like our results to stay at a level, but I can't excuse if we keep losing. I can't excuse Levy. I would take the decision to this isn't going to turn around quick enough for us. We need to do something. But I'd like to think that we'd be able to tick over a few wins here and there and just build some confidence and build back up. Pochettino can do that. I'd like to see Pochettino stay, but it's only if the results are somewhat acceptable.
Okay, so just while we're on the conversation, I don't want to spend too long on it, but while we're on that conversation then, what is unacceptable for Pochettino to be sacked come the end of the season? So in my mind, Ole Solskjaer, if he doesn't get any sort of European football, he should go. But I'm happy to give him till the end of the season to see if that's going to happen, unless we're getting relegated. But what is it for Poch? What would you say is your opinion on Poch for what's unacceptable and then to be sacked?
Do you know what? If Champions League kind of gets beyond us, I wouldn't want Europa League football. I would say, right, let's just... And I don't think I'd sack him if he finished in the top half. Okay. But it's hard to say just on that level of just where you sit at the table, because it also depends on if there's glimmers of hope. If we're kind of, okay, we're getting back to it, and it's just... Because you look back at a lot of Spurs results, I would say have been unlucky. If it starts building and improving, and we are in the top half outside of Europa League, I wouldn't sack him. But it's all determined by the manner of those results. If we're getting thrashed, and then scraping 1-0 wins flukily, I think you've got to take a view. But I don't think European football is a deal breaker.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting to know. All right then. So on to the final 3:00 kickoff, I think, wasn't it? Wolves Southampton.
Yes. Chris Marsden derby. Chris Marsden scored one of the greatest slow motion dribbles I've ever seen. Left foot inside, working the angles perfectly. I remember this, just working angles and plopped it in. But Wolves Southampton, and VAR was heavily used here, but I think it got its decisions right with this one. So I think Jimenez was probably getting a bit frustrated because he scores
two
goals. One was handball, I think, correct. He actually knows he's done this because as soon as he looks around, he knows it.
Yeah.
And then there was the second one was Catrone was offside. Again, you can see he's clearly offside. Not clearly as in you'd spot it yourself, but when looking at the video evidence, it's like, okay, he's offside. And then, I mean, it's the playing out from back is just it's almost like sides have been tricked into it with changing rules. They've gone, oh yeah, we can play out the back. And it just like before this, was it Vallejo? I think played a dolly of a pass into midfielder's right foot, and they got caught out and had a shot. Southampton did, and then he a few minutes later dollies it up the pitch with his left foot and doesn't even reach the halfway line, just into a Southampton midfielder. Ings is through 1-0. I mean, was it Connor Cody tried to intercept? Doesn't do anything. It's a for me, it's a sliding scale of effectiveness of centre backs. Willy Bolly, I think, is a fantastic centre back, really, really good. Connor Cody can be very good, and then obviously on yesterday's performance, Vallejo was shocking. But Danny Ings and Southampton, I think, go hand in hand. Southampton have only won 2 of their last 14 Premier League games.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was Mark Hughes, we'd be absolutely slating him right now. Hasenhüttl came in, did really well, really turned it around, but it's not really going that well from the moment. No, if you look at that as a run.
We picked them as a surprise package, didn't we, in a positive way?
Yeah.
So he would turn it around. And I think, they can build on this. They can build on this draw. With Wolves, it's away from home. It's a good draw against a team that have started okay this season, had a really good season last season. They just need to work on it. They need to use this as a stepping block, because Hasenhüttl looks like a manager that I'd love him to get as much time as he needs. As long as they don't get relegated, give him as much time as he needs to make this squad his own, because his signings have generally done quite well at the club for Southampton, and he looks like he's got a tactical plan they want to play, but They really need to improve it. They really need to improve.
Next 4 games: home to Leicester, away at Man City, home to Everton, away at Arsenal.
Oh.
It's a make or break run of games, that is, because Leicester, I think they're fine margins at getting results at the moment. Man City has shown you can get at. Everton, obviously hot and cold, and Arsenal. So that could easily be kind of get the pressure off Hasenhüttl, but a few heavy losses there, it could really turn it away, couldn't it?
Lose to Leicester, okay, in their current form, you might expect that. Lose to Man City, you'd probably expect that one, but lose to Everton, 3 losses in a row, that would push you down even close. Well, they're only above the relegation zone on goal difference at the moment, but that could be the end of him if they lose that game to Everton.
Because you'd understand it being the end of him then, because the next 3 games after that are incredibly important, because they're Watford, Norwich, Newcastle.
Yeah.
The following 3 games, they are must-win games or must-not-lose games. 2 of the Watford and Norwich games are home matches; they are must-win.
Yeah. And
Newcastle away, you get to take a draw from that. But yeah, that is, if it goes badly for him, I can see them twisting there, because they do not want to lose those following 3 games.
No, I agree. Just on Danny Ings, do you know how many goals he scored in the Premier League in his whole career?
He's not had that. He's had a lot of injuries. Probably only had about 20.
25 goals he scored in the Premier League. Do you know how many of them have been scored from outside the area?
I imagine you're going to say none.
Yes,
you're asking
none.
the question.
Yeah, none. He's a very Chicharito-esque striker.
Yeah. I say, you see with Chicharito, he moved to Sevilla, didn't he? And then in the first few weeks, he scored an absolutely thronking free kick from about 30 yards. It's like, what the actual fuck?
Chicharito? Yeah, where's that come from?
Yeah. Like, finally, I'm allowed to shoot from outside the box. All the managers have told me to shoot inside the box. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Ings does seem like that kind of that penalty box striker. They've always had those type of strikers at Southampton, from Pella to Charlie Austin. They've never, and even Gabbiadini, a little bit different, but yeah, they've never really found that top striker.
Yeah.
With days of James Beattie banging him in.
Oh, James Beattie, yeah, he was a great goal scorer. James Beattie.
He was a big lad, wasn't he? James Beattie.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was a top level swimmer, I think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so he had a kind of a big broad shoulders, didn't he? Quite
He
a
did,
strong
yeah.
lad.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right then. So on to the final game of Saturday's games, the late kickoff, Crystal Palace Man City.
Yeah, I know you wanted to know, David. It's the Sun Ji-hai derby.
He played for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Sun Ji-hai did.
I don't remember that. I remember him playing for Man City. I don't remember him playing for Crystal Palace. One season? Or did he have more?
It was before his time at Man City, actually.
Oh, right. Bloody hell, yeah.
So he, from his Chinese club, he went on loan to Palace for a season. And then a few years later, he joined Man City.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. You learn something new every day.
Absolutely.
So you can now rule out that your wiki file is Sun Ji-hai, because I would have known that, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
This game has my favourite goal of the weekend so far.
Which one?
David Silva's. It was just
David Silva.
The passing building up to it, Raheem Sterling's little spoon pass, and the fact that he hit it that well to nutmeg the goalkeeper on the volley. It was incredible.
That almost, for me, that feels like a David Silva finish. Is that, I don't know, I feel like I've seen him do that a few times. That kind of that really smooth volley, just kind of just plays it in. Nothing's ever thrashed with him, is it?
It's so controlled.
Imagine he'd be such a sensual lover, much like Petr Cech. Just really glides in.
Well, there you have it, folks. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about this game?
Not playing any centre backs and still coming away with a clean sheet. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Palace did all right, didn't they, for the first half an hour or so? They didn't concede, and then it was just like, oh, we've let one in. Oh no, we've let two in. Oh crap, that's our game over. So
yeah. Again, another VAR shout here. Wilfried Zaha, I think it's Wilfried Zaha, actually smashes into Kevin De Bruyne. No penalty. It's like, are you kidding me? He just literally just plows into the side of him. It's like, what is going on? I feel like, I've just finished watching an incredible Netflix series where When They See Us.
It's on my list. Yeah, don't spoil it for me. Don't give me spoilers.
Oh my god, it had me in bits. First episode was probably the most intense, frustrating, incredible piece of TV I've watched. The last episode was one of the most emotional bits of TV I've ever watched. It was just heartbreaking. Okay. But it's that injustice. It feels like there's this kind of, obviously not to the scale of the racial discrimination in the American justice system, but here I feel like there's just a conspiracy with VAR. They're like, nah, we're just going to fuck this right up and never have it again. You don't put cameras on us, says the referees, and they're just not using it properly. It's just an absolute joke. So that's my frustrating with VAR.
Okay, excellent. And that's we'll end our roundup there of the Saturday fixtures. It's good to have it back, isn't it? Obviously, it might not be for you because you drew with Watford and my team haven't played yet, so I can at least still say it's good to have it back. So
yeah, it's good to be back and have the excitement of it, but before the match, afterwards it's sad again. Yeah.
I do just want to point out, Kyle, the guy who mentioned the fact that you hadn't brought up the Newcastle game because it was international break, sent me a message with a very interesting fact that it was 10 years ago that Darren Bent scored a goal off a beach ball.
It was. You know what?
10 years ago.
Led me. Sky, where I watch the highlights on Sky Sports on YouTube, released at 5:15 on Saturday. Watch them, lovely. They also released some of the Premier League's most ridiculous goals, like with weird goals, and so many of them shouldn't really be allowed. Like that beach ball one. How on earth was that allowed? It's just ridiculous.
Well, there wasn't a rule for it, was there? So you have to give it.
I'm sure there was a rule for it at the time, and the referee fucked it right up.
No,
like a foreign object comes on.
There isn't a rule. No, and that's why there is a rule for it now, because there wasn't a rule before. Like in the German second league or third league or whatever, when someone put a cross in, it hit the referee and went in, and the ref had to give the goal. Because the rule stated if the ball went over the line, it's a goal.
Yeah, I was thinking because the other goal is Jari Litmanen, so Peter Schmeichel throws out, I think he's playing for Villa at the time, hits the referee's back, and Jari Litmanen then rolls it in. It feels like that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, that wouldn't be allowed now because if it hits the referee, it's drop ball, isn't it? Yeah, I think a lot of those goals wouldn't happen now. One was obviously the one that really irks me is the Olaf Melberg own goal.
Is that the throw-in?
Because it's not an own goal.
Yeah.
Because Enkelman does not touch it, and therefore it should have been. I'm not sure what happens there. A corner.
It should be a corner.
Yeah. And they judge it to make it seem like a Peter Enkelman own goal. It's like he does not touch that ball.
It's
It really does touch that ball. And then there's the one which is the Stan Collymore long range shot, and it bobbles over Tim Flowers. So
yeah,
he'd put
yeah.
his kicking divot in the middle of a goal like a pleb. But I mean, that wouldn't happen now because the pitch is obviously. You look at that pitch now, you're like, wow, that is. I wouldn't even have it as my like a field. That is horrific. But yeah, so many of those goals are just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, but really good fun unless they happen against your team. So
Yeah, basically.
yeah. Okay then. So we'll leave it there, and I think we'll go on to the Wikifiles before we preview.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Before we preview the game. So I got a Wikifile. Here comes a Wikifile. I got a Wikifile for you. Hey. So if you are new to the podcast, Wikifiles are a game that we invented on a trip to go and watch a Welsh Premier League game. Josh, myself, and Owen, a long time ago. When what was it? What was it? Like 6-7 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah, be around that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've turned it into a game that we'll bring to the podcast. Where this week I am sending a wiki file to Josh, which he should hopefully have just received, and it details the stats of a player from Wikipedia, and he has to try and guess the player on those stats. And he'll say what he sees. So Josh, take it away.
Okay, here we are. Right, let's have. Oh my goodness, Dave. This is what I don't like. I don't like these type of people. So we have in 1991 they started their career and spent 3 years with the Canaries, Norwich City, 102 appearances, 35 goals, and then they got their move to would that be then Premier League champions? Blackburn Rovers, spent 5 years there, 130 appearances, 47 goals. Oh, okay. 147 and 130 appearances, 47 goals. Gets a move to not yet big spending Chelsea. Maybe he's partnering Tor Andrew Flo this time. 28 appearances, 1 goal. Did not work out for this man. So he moves north of the border. He is obviously devoid of confidence in the Premier League, needs to go to the Scottish League, and spends 6 years at Celtic. Another 130 appearances, but this time he betters at Blackburn Rovers tally by 16 goals and scores 63 goals. He then goes, I'm coming back to England. Birmingham City, 10 games, 1 goal. Stick around the Midlands. Aston Villa in 06-07, 8 appearances, 1 goal, and then finishes. He retires in 07. Then comes back out of retirement 5 years later for a swan song for Wroxham, which I can only presume are a local club, and he appears once and scores 0 goals. So 409 appearances, 148 goals. Now, this is a player.
It is well done. Yeah.
Yes, he's famed. He's also one of those players who can play in defence, centre back, and up front, isn't he? He's done that a few times, I think.
I think he has. Yeah, I think he has. He's more famed for being a striker.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the big target man striker, obviously. This is everybody's favourite now pundit, Chris Sutton.
It is Chris Sutton. It is. With he was the first person to kick off about being selected for England B, and then was never picked by the England national team ever again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the person that got selected for England B, and he played 1 game for them, and then got selected for the England full national team, and then got dropped to go and play for England B again. Played for them, and then said, "I'm too good, and I'm not gonna. That's it. I shouldn't be playing for the England B team. I should be a full national." And he never got picked again. So he's got 13 caps for the under-21s, 2 caps for England B, and 1 cap for England.
The old 1 cap wonder, but no goals wonder. He's got as many caps for England as he played for Wroxham.
There you go.
And it seemed like that was he made a surprise turn, returned to football. So Wroxham. I've never heard of Wroxham. They must be very low league, but I have no fondness.
When I was looking at his wiki file, I thought someone had inputted Wrexham wrong. So
you were about to edit it.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a managerial career.
Yeah, Lincoln.
Remember this?
Yeah. Before the Cowley brothers. Well, probably some time before the Cowley brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, sorry, you were going to say, you have no affinity.
No fondness for Chris Sutton whatsoever. I have fondness for the way he played football. I don't think he was particularly special in any way. He was not the type of footballer who's going to get you out of your seat. It was very much a kind of Chris Wood in the current day, isn't it? He fits that shape.
Thoughts on a pundit? What do you feel of him as a pundit?
He's quite well spoken. but I don't really agree with much of what he says.
I would agree. Yes, I would agree. I think he gets his points across quite elegantly, but they're not very good points.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But what shirt you say, Chris Sutton? What shirt do you picture him in? How do you remember him most?
Oh, probably Chelsea campaign when he had a failed Chelsea, because that's where he became a bigger name, didn't he? He signed for a much bigger club. Yeah, probably like Chelsea. Wasn't that the Auto Glass shirt?
It was, yeah. It was Auto Glass. Yeah. I just remember him at Celtic. I remember him playing Champions League at Celtic and causing just havoc. When teams like Barcelona and AC Milan played against Celtic, he just caused havoc because they were like, "What is this monster?" So
yeah, he was a big lad. Was 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'3", I think. Yeah, but here we go. So well done, Josh. Chris Sutton is the Wikifile for this week. Hopefully, you guys are playing along at home as well. I thought it might have been a bit of a spanner in the works. What gave it away? Was it the Blackburn Chelsea move?
Yeah, that Chelsea failed stint, and because I don't typically like the only English, only British kind of look to it, because it could be so many players. It needs that. For me, it's much easier if it has that one foreign club. You go, oh, right, I know there's only a few people who moved from here to here, but when you've got it all British, you go, oh god, there's been a fair few who've done this journey. But
yeah. Okay. So let's go for a quick preview then, because we don't need to go back to the quiz, do we? Because I've already got it. So
you smashed the quiz, yeah.
You gave the
well
answer
done,
away.
Dave.
So we will go a very quick preview then. So Man United Liverpool first. News that David De Gea has got a groin problem while on international duty, so is not expected to play, but has travelled as part of the squad. It's been revealed. Which is interesting. Paul Pogba's still out. Wan-Bissaka, Martial and Luke Shaw all have late fitness tests. And then, Jesse Lingard is a doubt. Phil Jones is a doubt. Diego Dalot is a doubt. And Mason Greenwood might also be a doubt as well. Just signed a new 5-year contract, Mason Greenwood, so congratulations for him. And Alisson might be back for Liverpool. I mean, what do you see happening in this game?
Well, I put up a poll, didn't I, on Twitter saying United Liverpool tomorrow, what way is it going to go? And 63% of the voters felt that it would be a Liverpool win. But I think United are going to win this.
Did you vote for Man United?
Yeah, at worst, I think Man United getting a draw from this.
Oh wow, okay.
So Klopp has never won at United in the league. Sergio Romero
has also never been this bad.
Yeah, Sergio Romero has never lost at Old Trafford, I don't think. And obviously Liverpool in a big run. It's a derby. Honestly, I think United are going to get something out of this. It's not going to be pretty. It's not that you're going to blow Liverpool away, but I think you'll get something out of this. I've got a feeling that Liverpool have been on fine margins and getting their results, late wins or scraping results. I think they set 2 new records for them. I think the amount of wins at the start of the season and their most consecutive wins. I think they'll get a bit of pressure, and I think that United are going to do it.
I don't. I think we're going to get mauled. I think 4-1. I think I've predicted in my predictions league 3 or 4-1. And I think it's going to be incredibly hard to watch, and I've got to stay up into the early hours of the morning to watch it here. So
you don't have to.
Well, yeah, it's like I do. It's bad, but I've got to watch it. So, yeah.
Will you stay to a very end? If it's 4-1 you're predicting, are you going to be staying to the very end?
I'll still watch the whole game. Just the tears will send me to sleep. So. Yeah.
Be dehydrated in the morning because of fluid you've lost.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're going to get absolutely humped, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But that injury list, we've got a pretty bang average squad as it is, and then you take out Martial, De Gea, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Paul Pogba, all those sorts of players, and yeah, it's just dire, absolutely dire. Very similar, Josh, to something I forgot to mention in the news, actually. Just going back to the news things. So, Tottenham Hotspur season has been announced as a part of an Amazon Prime deal.
Oh, yeah.
And you posted an absolutely brilliant GIF of Ralph Wiggum's heartbreaking.
Yep.
What a season to pick it.
You can literally see the moment his heart breaks.
Yeah.
And, I know. And I always thought, whenever I see these documentaries, I'm like, I'd love to see one behind the scenes at Spurs.
Yeah.
probably about 3-4 years ago. I'd like to have seen it. That season one of the seasons where we came close to winning the title, the Leicester one or the following one, that would have been really exciting to see with everybody on a high. Now it's going to be just, Christ, it'll be just depressed people walking around, and it's going to be a hard. I mean, it's going to be watched by so many people, but none of them are going to be Spurs fans.
Yeah, yeah. I can remember. So I can't remember if it was on our Twitter or feed. Someone commented back saying, "I can't wait just to see Christian Eriksen sitting in the corner mumbling, I can't wait to leave after every single game."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but anyway.
And I'll be excited to see it come out. I would just, but I obviously would love to see behind the scenes at Spurs and see how it goes. And hopefully there's something to celebrate this season. It'd be maybe a Europa League win. Who knows? But yes, obviously love to watch that. But it couldn't have come a worse season so far.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then
just makes the end all that more sweet, though, doesn't it? You know, rope-a-dope in all of you lot.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, it would be the first ever all or nothing series where the manager gets sacked at the end of it. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we can compare it to Sunderland Till I Die, then it probably won't be as dramatic as that. Oh, hopefully not. Christ.
It's just the game as well. It's just the name. All or nothing. Well, nothing. Yeah. And then on to the Monday fixture, Sheffield United Arsenal. Just a quick preview of this. I mean, should be an Arsenal win, you would say, but
I don't know. I mean, Arsenal concede a lot of shots, and maybe they have their fullbacks back now. Bellerin and Tierney may be back, which really improves their defence. But obviously, they'll be coming straight back at it against a kind of a powerful, a very up for it Sheffield United side. I'll be surprised if this is a walk in the park for Arsenal. I think Sheffield United will be well up for this. They'll be always thinking, I can do this, but all the time that Arsenal got Aubameyang on the pitch, they've got themselves a chance, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. It'll be very interesting. And Lacazette, I think, might be back as well. I think he's not. He's had that ankle injury. He could be back, and him and Aubameyang seem to work very well together. Interesting stat though. Sheffield United 9 points in the league, and they've got 3 of them at home and 6 of them away.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, not too strong at home, it appears. But so we see. I think Arsenal win. I think Arsenal might win rather comfortably as well. I think this game.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think. I can't remember what I predicted in my predictions league. I probably predicted a draw because I think I was a little bit drunk when I was.
Yeah, Arsenal I think are unbeaten in their last 8. The first meeting between these two sides since 2008, when Arsenal won 6-0 thanks to goals from, wait for it, Carlos Vela, Nicholas Bentner, and Jack Wilshere.
Awesome!
Wow,
love that.
They've had different trajectories, haven't they?
Yeah, just a bit. Well, yeah, I did predict. I predicted 1-1, and now I've said I think Arsenal are going to win quite comfortably. So, welcome to the brain of Dave. Things can change in a day.
Also, welcome to the brain of Josh, where this is why I don't win anything when gambling, because I predicted a Man United win or draw, and Sheffield United get something from it. So, I always think, I wouldn't mind that.
A double there.
Yeah, I will do. I'll put a double chance on both of them.
Yeah, I would definitely. If you're if you're cocky, if you're feeling cocky,
I'll be placing that. I'll place that and tweet that, and we'll see how that goes down.
Excellent. Well, I think we're done, really. Unless
I think so.
Anything. Yeah. Well, it's.
I think my Sunday roast is ready.
Oh,
I'm still muddy, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got a FaceTime with my parents in half an hour, and then got to sort out the spare room because my sister-in-law's coming to visit. So.
Oh, lovely.
Very nice. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Josh. Once again, it's always a pleasure. And you're not in the closet today, are you?
No closet for me. I'm in a full-on room. With
a professional setup, isn't it? You got
nice setup. Yeah, where we filmed our mastermind quiz. Actually,
it was. So, but yes, thank you very much, Josh. Thank you all the listeners that are out there. If you want to find us on different sort of medias, we are on Twitter. But remember,
there's no A in football.
There's no A in football. Some bastard nicked it and won't give it back. We are on YouTube, where we originally founded. I'd like to use that word. We're founded on YouTube. You can search for us, Michael Ballsack on Football Talk. If you search for that, you can find us. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, and I don't think we're on iTunes yet because it's very complicated and difficult to get it on there.
Oh, it is. It really is. They're too particular about everything.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to leave any questions or comments below, we will probably refer to them in a podcast eventually, and we'll try and answer them on the next show if it's a question. But thank you so much for listening. For now, we're out. Cheers.